Okay, so before I start screen sharing, basically I'm just gonna kind of walk you guys through this kind of, well, a management strategy, if you will, where I'm just gonna show you kind of how I make my own assignment lists in Excel for my own classes. And it's just a really great way to have an idea of what is required of you overall, because I think a lot of people, you have assignments that you can see in the syllabus and stuff, but it can be really difficult to keep track of it all unless you've got like a really big calendar you can write it all on or something. So it's just an easy way to have an idea of what you need to be doing, what's prioritized, things like that. And it's really customizable. So I'm going to go at it through Excel. I'm going to go from the base, but I will also have a template that I will if you guys want it, I can email it to you or something like that. But the best way to use it is really to have your own, what was that?
I was going to say, can you put your email addresses in the chat feature?
Yeah.
Not yours, Elinor, but Eli and Naomi. Okay.
But yeah, so I guess I will go ahead and start sharing my screen. So this is what it can look like. I'm going to go from just a basic spreadsheet first, but this is just kind of like an introduction into what it will look like at its base level. You can make it look prettier or whatever. You can add more to it. You can add less. But I'll go ahead and make a new one. Hopefully it will still show the same one. It's still showing the right one. Okay, so basically, how you're going to do this is you're going to use the table feature that's available from Excel. So first and foremost, I think you saw in the previous one, I just go ahead and decide what I'm going to want to have as my columns, like my sections. So obviously you're going to want the assignment. That's a given. And like the assignment name. Then you're going to want...
okay. Sorry, we're seeing the old one, not the new one. So
That's
can you
correct.
just, so what you can do is you can just go down and at the bottom where it says sheet 1, you could
Yeah.
just click sheet and add a sheet and then start there.
Okay.
There you go.
So, like I did in the previous one, as you can see here, I made kind of a list of what I wanted or what I could have as the section. So I'm just going to copy that, actually. It'll save me time. So obviously you're going to want the due date. I like to put the assignment type. So is it a paper? Is it a test? Is it a quiz? Is it a lab? Things like that. What class it is, if you want to be able to sort things and see just things for, let's say you have a English class. If you only want to see your English assignments at the top, you can have that as one of your sections. The name, which is going to be helpful. The status, so you could either put like complete or incomplete, or you can just cross it off. I tend to just cross it off, but if you want to be able to be like, oh, I've started working on this, this is a work in progress. Then any notes, obviously, if you want to be like, this has 3 parts or something like that, and just kind of keep track of all the information you have on it, that can be a great place to do that. And then finally, priority. This is definitely something that's a little bit like next level if you want to be able to kind of rank, okay, if you already, obviously you have the deadline, so you know kind of the priority is whatever is due more recently. But if you've got maybe a couple of big assignments, it can be helpful to sort them maybe low to high, something like that. So you can, if you've got maybe some free time and you want to work ahead on something, it's a great way to figure out what you want to work ahead on. But yeah, so this can be as complex as you want it to be. You can only have the due date, the assignment name, and maybe the class. That's all you need necessarily. But if you want to kind of make it that one step better, you can do as much as you want here. So that's why I'm going to start from like the very beginning of this. So first and foremost, obviously, I'm just going to do the assignment. And then I'll go ahead and do the deadline next. And then let's say class status, or let's do int type, and then status. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and make it so that they fit. That's not the right place. Just do it this way. Okay, so based on that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make a table, which a lot of people don't realize you can do this in Excel, but you can do it the same way you can in Word, where you would go insert and you would go to table. And if you click table here, it'll give you this option. I just highlight it because it's a lot more complicated to type things in here. But if you don't highlight it beforehand, you can also do this where you can select it. But since my table, I've already made headers for it, I'm going to go ahead and say my table has headers. So if you do that, it does this automatically. Now for me, I prefer to have it with lines instead of like where it separates each one. So automatically, this is like, a lot of people don't realize that you can do that super easily, and already you can sort things from like alphabetical order, which would be helpful if all of your assignments were in alphabetical order, but they're not. So there are ways that you can really use this and maximize it for your own classes. So let's say I'm gonna just go put a final paper here. And let's say that it's due today. So 3/19/2021. The class, I'll say it's for English. It's a paper, obviously. And the status would be, let's just leave it blank because I haven't started it yet. So you could do that for every single assignment and then just sort it by, you could go here and then go, oh, it's working, okay. You would go to data and then you could click sort, and you could sort it by the deadline. And then you could go here and go to date. That's very complicated. That's like, okay, I could sort it by date every single time. But what you can do here is you can go ahead and create your own, basically your own alphabet. In the same way you would sort it by alphabet, you can sort it by anything that you want. So here, for example, let's say I've got classes, right? I can go in here, I can go to sort, and I want to sort by class, right? I'm going to sort, leave the cell values alone, that's fine. But if I go here, you see, I can go A to Z, I can go Z to A. If I make a custom list, I can sort by anything I want. So for me, I would put my classes in here since I want to sort by classes, right? So let's say I've got English, I've got biology, I'm just going to bio, history, I can spell. And then let's make one more. I'll just go Spanish. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and click OK. So I've now created an order where if I want to sort things by English, bio, history, Spanish, it will sort them in that order. So if I do that, right, I can go here and I can say sort A to Z, right? Sort Z to A. And I can sort the entire assignment list. So I'll just go ahead and I'll just have a bunch of final papers for now. And then we'll make this one will be Spanish. This one will be bio. And then I'll just change the deadline on a couple of them so that it'll be easier to sort it. Okay, so if I was to go here and I wanted to sort, right? I can just go in my table, click sort, and have it sort by class. And so I can have, you see how it automatically made a different section for each. So I can go ahead and go, I wanted to sort it by English, bio, history, okay. It now has gone into that order. So if I made another one of these, it will be easier to see if I do this. And then I go to sort, no, why is it doing that? There we go. Click OK. It has now combined all of my English assignments together. So if I want to see all of my English assignments, I can do it that way. And then if I had multiple bio assignments, it would be able to go, they would all be grouped together, same thing. You can do that same thing for every single assignment or for every single column you have here. So if I wanted to only have, let's say, papers, I would just do the exact same thing. So I'll just clarify, you would go to sort, right? So we go to sort. I would go, so if I'm going to be sorting it by assignment type now, I would make a new list. So my new list, let's say paper, test, quiz, worksheet. And again, customizing this for yourself is what's going to be best. So when I have a chemistry class, I have chemistry labs due. Let's say I have a lab report due, but I also have a lab notebook sheet due. I can do that for any assignments that I'm going to have. I can also go in and edit any lists that I've already made. So if I end up having a new type of assignment that I want to be able to separate, I can just go in and add lab, press OK, and then it would sort by assignment type. So I'll switch final, we'll make that a final test. Now if I go in and sort in the same way, it has my papers together, it has my tests together if there were multiple. And it just allows you to really have an idea of the specific requirements. So if I want to be able to just knock out some papers, I can go ahead and just have all my papers come to the top and select all my papers. In the same way, if I make another sort, and I can go ahead and make a custom list, and I'm just going to say completed, in progress, and then you don't even necessarily have to say anything else, because if there are blank columns, it'll just put them at the bottom. So, or at the top if you go the other way. So then if I just go back to sort and I click completed and in progress, completed, in progress, then I would just go back to sort. What did I do? That's the thing. I don't know what happened. Okay.
I don't know if it saved the sort. This.
Yeah, which is weird because normally it. Okay, well, that's never happened before. But in that situation, I would. Maybe that. Okay, I don't know what I did, but it's still there now. So we're just gonna go with that. But you'll be able to do that for each column in the same way. So what I like to do is just go ahead and have it, take all of my assignments and I just put them in there in a random order. At the beginning of the semester normally, I don't know where mine is right now because it's normally on my iPad is where I use it, but I would just be able to go in, put every assignment that's in the syllabus, every information that's in the syllabus. So if there's like some things, I'd add a notes column here. And if they're like, this assignment has this part due on this day, this part due on this day, this part due on this day, I can just go ahead and copy paste that, make a really long column, whatever you want to do. Or one thing that I do like to do as well is use the comment feature or the note feature in Excel. So if there is a specific thing about this that I want to use, I would go ahead and click new note. I just delete my name because I know it's me saying it. And I would say, let's see, needs 4 different sources, right? And automatically I can have all of that information in here without needing to go ahead and look at my syllabus every time I want to look at the assignment. So if I just even mouse over this box, it will tell me exactly what the requirements are for that assignment. So it comes back to that same thing I said earlier, where you can make this as in-depth as you want. It can just be deadlines, or you can literally have all of your syllabus information in one spot where you can sort it by the priority, by anything that you want to do, which I think is the biggest thing for me when it comes to something like time management, is that I have like priorities for me. If there's a quick assignment, I'd rather sometimes knock out a bunch of quick assignments and be able, you could even make a column where it's like, you know, how long I would estimate it's going to take, like time. I think an assignment's going to take 15 minutes. I could make a column here. And then if I've only got 15 minutes to work, I'm not a person who likes to stop working on something and then pick it up later. So if I only want to do a 15-minute assignment, I can go ahead, sort it by 15-minute assignments and have it all go ahead and pop up for me. So
Elinor, can I ask a question?
yes.
Okay, so let's say I want to take my syllabus and I want to put every assignment from all of my classes into one of these spreadsheets. So I put in the assignment, I put in the due date, I put in the class, the assignment type, and maybe notes so I can kind of have some way to track that. How could I sort by date? Can I sort by date and another column? So let's say I want to sort by, I want to see everything that's due next week. So do you know how to do that?
So that can be really complex to do in Excel, like kind of using a lot of like different things, like not just the sort function. That can be a little complex. So the best way that I like to do it, because my dad's like an Excel whiz, he's like, oh yeah, you can do that with this, 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 and this. The way that I like to do it is the easy way. So let's say I'll sort it all by, well, it's already sorted by English. So I've got English here, right? I've got both my English assignments. So what I tend to do is I'll make that one big master sheet, and then I'll go ahead and I'll go and I'll say English. Or you can do this before and then combine it all. It's kind of up to you. And then I would just go ahead and I would actually do one
Copy and paste the English.
And I would just paste it right on over into here.
Okay.
And be able to sort it the same way. You still have to go ahead and remake it as a table.
Yeah.
But that's literally just that. And then you would, well, because you could.
Let me show you a really cute or really easy thing to do. So go back to your second sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Go up to the pull down menu next to deadlines.
Mm-hmm.
And then see at the very bottom. So I want to know everything that's due on the 19th. So unselect all. There you go. And then just pick the 19th and then say okay. And then that's all that's going to show up. And you could do that by each column. Mm-hmm. So if you just want to know what English assignments you have, you don't necessarily, I mean, if you want to have extra sheets, then a great way to have extra sheets and English is just there. Also sort by or filter by that and only see English and only see biology, because you can go over to the class type and put in that. So if you want to see it all, you just select all, or at the top it says clear filter from deadline. Mm-hmm. So if you go up a little bit, we're down one more. Oh, there you go. So now you can sort by all different or filter by all different kinds of things. Okay. But what I was hoping is that, do you have a master list that we can kind of look at?
Yeah, I've got to find it.
Or
because I was
or one of your classes. Okay. I don't know if we did one for PASS, but
no, I've got it on my iPad.
But I mean, if you don't, that's fine. I'm putting you on the spot, and I'm sorry, but
no, it's on my iPad, but I don't. My iPad doesn't like to load properly with.
That's
OneDrive.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get it to send, and we'll see. But
so I really like this system because it's all in one place. And the other thing I really like about this system is that even halfway through the semester, if you need to add a column, you can add a column and it won't affect anything else. What's hard about calendars is we could lose it, but at least this way, this is saved on a cloud, and you always have access to this as long as you have a computer in front of you. And so I think it's a wonderful way to track assignments. And I love that that little note feature that you put on that final paper, because if the professor says something in class that you need to remember, you can always attach it to that as well.
Yeah, well, and that's a big thing for me is that I can normally, it's not working, of course. But normally I can pull it up on my phone even and add that note on my phone in the Excel app. So
Yeah.
a lot of the time, like I'll be leaving class and I'll be typing it up. Let me see if I can get it to pull up here. But oh boy. Yeah, no dice. You see, I have.
That's okay. That's okay. That, I'm sorry to put you on the spot. That's my.
Let me see if I.
Oh.
It's staying on Excel, right? When I change.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look for 2 seconds. Nope. Because there was one that I also based mine upon.
Mm-hmm.
That I was trying to find the template I used, because that's another thing as well. Just like to point out, I guess, while I look on my iPad, but there are a lot of templates out there as well, because I think that for me personally, a little bit of a dork maybe, but learning how to do it on my own and learning how to format it in a way that's best for me, like those different columns for me that work best. That's one thing. But then there is also, if you don't have the time, maybe you don't like doing something like this, like it's not something that you really have the time to do, there are a lot of templates out there as well, where if you just search to-do list template Excel on Google, a bunch of them will show up where they've already got people much smarter than me who have formatted it with all the little bells and whistles where you just fill it in. Now, there's the issue with those is that they can sometimes break. You can break them. You can break the formatting or something if you delete something wrong, which is why I tend to like to know how to do it on my own. But that is an option for those of you who maybe might not have the time to go ahead and paste everything in. Also, one thing that people don't realize is that you don't even necessarily have to, if you copy paste a sentence from, let's say, a Word document into Excel, the sentence will normally copy paste. Let me go just write a sentence in my, I know you can't see this, but I'll just write it. So let's say time management workshop. So I just wrote down the words time management workshop. I'm copy pasting that, right? Just Control C. If I'm back in the Excel now and I want to paste it in here, obviously it's going to do that. It's going to make it all in one box, right? But if you go ahead and you go into it as, let me find where this was. The only problem with Excel is that I lose the spots where I put things. Maybe. I might not be able to show you how to do this if I don't remember what it was.
I'm Googling. So, and I Googled Excel assignments, if I put that a plural, assignment tracker for college students. Some really good resources out there.
Yeah. So I know I just, oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. While you're doing that, I'm gonna, can you, if you unshare your screen while you're doing that, I can share some other ones.
Sure.
Some other options. Oops, you have to enable. If you can go down and let me share or share.
Let me go to the settings. Sorry.
So to the right of share screen, there should be an up arrow.
Yeah.
And then just allow multiple.
Wait, where? Sorry.
So the share screen button, there should be like an up arrow to the left or right of that.
There we go, got it. It should be good now.
Okay. So here's one option that they did here, which was to put the point value at the other. So if you see this, they did the due date, the class, and then what the assignment is, and then they did the point value there. And then that would allow you to kind of even keep track of what your scores are in your class. Here's one that they did for readings. You know, apparently they must be a lit major looking at their classes, but when the readings were due and then what the readings were. And so that might be another way, but you can Google all kinds of templates. I don't know if you can see these. Yeah, they don't look very good on they don't look very clear, I should say. Oh, these all look like paper. Yeah. Sorry about that. I'll stop sharing.
Well, it's good timing because I realized that I know how to do it. But
Awesome.
one thing is, so let's say that there is, you've got like your professor has their syllabus and they've just got it where it says like, let's say, you know, March time assignment workshop, something like that, right? Where they've got a bunch of different words and you don't want to copy paste all of it because it'll all copy paste into the same cell. Well, if you go ahead and you go to here, text to columns. Text to columns. If you go here and you say delimited, right? And then next, you can define what separates your assignments. So let's say they've even got a list of all of your assignments and it's all separated by commas, right? You can paste all of that into the one cell. And then let's say they're all separated by commas. You would select comma here and it would separate those by every comma. Or in this case, my words are separated by spaces. So you can see here, it's going to separate every word based on where the space is. So if I go next and then finish, it has now separated that into a different cell every time. So you don't even necessarily have to go ahead and type out everything, every assignment, word for word, taking 3 hours or something like that. You can copy paste it and use that tool to the best of your ability. Everything's separated by commas, everything's separated by spaces. You can use it multiple times. So if it, let's say I had time/work, I could go here and then go, it's easier to do this way. Again, it's the delimited one. Next, and let's say I want to just use slashes. It has now separated it by the slash. So that's just a good way to save a lot of time when you're making something like this, where you're copying a lot of data. But that was a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be, but I guess that's kind of the end of it. Do any of, I guess the two of you guys have any questions? Is that confusing at all?
You made it seem really simple, but once I try it, I'll know better.
Well, that's another thing too. I guess let me put my own email in the chat. And if either of you two have any questions about it, Eli, I assume you already have it, but you guys can go ahead and email me if you have any questions about it, and I can send the template. I can actually make a better template from my own on my iPad and send it so that it's a little bit more in depth. But yeah, I guess that's it.
I think the hard part that is sitting down and actually doing this. I think that's what I think might be the hardest part of this. But if you do it, then you can print it out, you can have it on your wall, you can export it, you can do all kinds of stuff. You could see if your classmates want a copy of it. I mean, it's a really good thing, and I might try to incorporate this into next semester's pass and kind of do one for pass class, and then so showing students how to do it for all of their classes.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any questions?
Any questions at all?
Nope, I'm good.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Elinor, is there anything else you want to?
No, thank you guys for
That's
coming.
okay. Awesome. Well, you guys have a great weekend. It's homecoming weekend. Woo woo. Things are going on campus. Be safe, and we'll see you at the next workshop, which Cassandra is doing a workshop in, when is it, next week?
It is the 26th, I believe. So next Friday.
Next Friday, she's doing a workshop on, no, it's the 23rd. It looks like, oh wait, Tuesday the 23rd at 3 p.m. So if you're interested, sign up. This one will be on study skills.
Yes.
So bye guys. Have a good afternoon. Good weekend.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.